I know what you really want to see. You want to know how my plants are doing. Let's see. Here they are. I think Josh watered them this morning. Here's our carrots. Oh, they're starting to get extra sprouts. They're looking good. And here's our cucumbers. There's like a tiny one right there. Struggling. He's struggling. Good morning! It is the last day of March, the 31st. Which, if it's the 31st of any month, you get 31% off at Baskin Robbins. In case you're wondering. So I sent off our home study back to our social worker, completed, and I haven't heard anything from her. But it's not unusual to not hear anything from her for like a week because she's so busy. And since today is so nice and sunny outside, I thought, hey, why don't I go ice skating today? Because it's nearing the end. Well, there's only one more week left of the rink, then I have to go to Nagano. We're gonna do that today. This is what my breakfasts have been looking like since they stopped selling cereal in Japan. We have a bagel. Usually I eat a plain bagel, but they didn't have any plain bagels. And some yogurt with granola. I think this one's like pineapple. It's like mixed tropical fruit, basically. Fruit mix, that's what it says. 7 fruit mix. And some milk. Off we go. So about like 2/3 of the way there. I've been biking for about half an hour or so. And it's up to this point, it's been like a steady incline. Now it's like gonna go up, and you can kind of see starting to go more up. So I usually take a break for like a few minutes. Made it!
いらっしゃいませ。ご希望の商品をお選びください。ご利用ありがとうございました。
Member card. I'll get real for like just a second. So like skating is my life. Like my heart totally belongs to it. And I know that I have said to many people and that Japan is like where I belong. That's totally true. Like I feel like I actually do belong in Japan. There's only one thing that I would give up Japan for, and that is skating. Like I would not have come to Japan, and I would not still be here if there was no way for me to be ice skating. Ice skating is, I need it in my life. If I don't have it, I break down and I can't function. It's my life force, in a sense. And I'm only thinking about these things right now because the rink is going to be closing soon. Like next week is the last week. And that means I have to go to Nagano, but it's so expensive. If it were up to me, I honestly think I would just ice skate. Like, if I had a job at all, it would be part-time, and then all of that money would be put back into ice skating. I wouldn't even like do anything else with my life. It would just be skating. But I can't. That's not possible. That would honestly be like the only thing that I feel like I'm missing is ice skating in Japan. Ice skating is the only thing that's getting me through stresses, and it's the only thing that makes everything feel right. It just feels like that it's out of my control, to a sense that I'm forcing myself to be here, and I'm not on contract, so I can't really leave the contract, but it's not really out of my control because it's my choice to be in Japan. So I'm kind of like wrestling with, what's right and what's not right. Am I happy that I can even skate in Japan? Yeah, I'm very happy I can even skate in Japan. I'm so blessed to be where I am because I can go to any neighboring prefecture, actually, during the summer and go ice skating there. Nagano just happens to be the cheapest one to get to, if you can believe it. These are just my musing thoughts. This is what my lunch looks like. Rice and some teriyaki salmon. Sweetened condensed milk for strawberries. And I'll have some carrots later. This can of corn is for my husband. He's at the store buying his lunch. Guess what I got in the mail today? Absolutely nothing. I just thought I would make you excited for no reason. Anyway, It's been a couple weeks since I've updated us because nothing's really happened. My social worker did indeed get our home study report, and now they're just like waiting for our birth certificates. That's basically all that's left at this point. Just waiting for the birth certificates. And then she told me we'd have to pay the $1,000 fee to send it to USCIS. That's the application fee. And she's like, oh, don't worry, we'll gather all of your documents and send it on your behalf. You just have to pay $1,000. Oh, when you put it like that, I guess I'm getting the better end of the deal. Anyway. So we're just kind of waiting for those to come in the mail because we can't progress until those get into the mail. Josh needs to do some weeding out of carrots because I think these carrots are growing a little bit too close to each other. But oh my gosh, look at everything. They're growing so nicely. It all looks so beautiful. I can't wait. Check it out. We did some spring cleaning. Kotatsu's put away. And now we have the table and just the couch now. And it feels so much more wide and open. Let's check out the vegetables. My mom keeps asking, so I have to keep showing them. And they are not too shabby. Our carrots, they look like they're really bunched together. And then here's our cucumbers. We did have 5 plants, but I think a couple of them didn't make it. That's okay though. And yes, I know, the brow's still there. Like I told you, I don't touch it. I don't really have a good backdrop. You've got like a calendar, you got the fridge, you have the oven, you have the shelf of things. Like there's like no good location in this house to have a nice backdrop. Oh wait, maybe my curtains. Like my curtains? We'll do the curtains. All right, curtains it is. So the adoption law that changed basically says that you have to find like a Japanese national couple first before you go to an international couple or even adopt internationally. So basically that means no babies. All the infant adoptions are going to go towards Japanese nationals first, which I mean is fine. I don't see really a problem with it. I know some people could see that as a problem, but I don't. I mean, it makes sense. You want to keep the people in your country, within your country, and they're trying to promote families and adoptions more in Japan. So I find it personally fine because there's actually pretty negative stigma on adoption with Japanese nationals. So if they're promoting it more often, I think it's a good thing, in my opinion. I mean, not everybody will agree, but in my opinion, I think it's a good thing. The only part that affects us is that Japan is procrastinating country. That's just the society that they are. And they don't like to inform people of anything. They just like throw stuff at you. Like laws. They don't plan things out. They just get told what happens. And it's done very last minute. Like I'm sure somebody in an office somewhere was like, oh, I have this idea. I have 6 months to plan it. I'll plan it the day before. Like that's probably exactly what happened. I'm not joking. But in this case with laws, I didn't think they were like that. But clearly they are because they said, okay, this new law is going into effect today. And here's the information about it because we didn't tell you about it beforehand. So here you go. So it took a while for our agency to get the information. And there are some questions that they have and we have that they can't answer because they're still waiting to hear back from the government about what those clarifications are. But like I said, it's Japan. They procrastinate, so they're not very well prepared. And this also affects the US because their adoption law change occurred, meaning that international adoptions are not priority anymore. They are secondary. And all those people that have pending applications that were primary have now been pushed back. And the US is like, wait a second, you didn't quite think this through. And Japan's like, so now they have halted all adoption applications to internationally. The US has. They're like, until further notice, no more adoption entries and no more adoption applications for Japan. We need to work out a new international treaty because this law completely changes things. We had a hard time trying to figure out what exactly we could do as a couple, as a family in Japan, how to move forward with Japan. And we talked about switching programs because we're able to do that. And we talked about maybe adopting in the US. We talked about maybe stopping adoption in the US in Japan and just not going forward with it and maybe wait until we get back to the US. But that could be 6 years from now. It could be 1 year from now. We don't know when we're going back to the US. It all depends on my visa contract. So we don't know the future, and it's scary either way we look at it. And we had a really hard time coming to a decision, and I was basically on hiatus from everything, like my social media, everything. I was on hiatus. I wasn't talking to anyone. I didn't post anything because I just needed to focus on praying and figuring out what we need to do. We had a hard time coming to a decision, and we finally came to one. We've decided to pursue domestic adoption in Japan. It's a big risk, and I think it's a risk for anyone who is in a non-Hague country. And we feel that this is the right decision that we should be making. We feel like this is where we should be heading. I mean, we're waiting to we're waiting to see if the U.S. changes its mind, because if they, or not change its mind, like works things out, and if they work it out within the next 6 months, then we'll just jump right back onto the I-600 one and like nothing ever happened. But if after 6 months nothing's changed, we're just gonna drop that one entirely. I think we'll just wait like 6 months to see what happens, and if nothing changes in 6 months, then we have no choice but to do the domestic one. It's like we want to stay in Japan. We want to keep living in Japan. I know a lot of our family back home, mostly family. I don't think our friends care that much. Our family back home is going to be upset with us. But I mean, we both feel like we're supposed to be in Japan, and I love Japan aside from skating issues. And Josh really likes Japan. So we've just decided that we'll just stay here and finish the adoption process here, which could take anywhere from 2 to 3 years. So I hope you weren't anxious to meet a child this year, because it's probably not going to happen. What does this mean about our fees? Well, the fees actually go down, so it won't be as expensive as we were projecting it to be. I know we've already lost $9,000. We lost it. I mean, that's just what happened. It frustrates me, but at the same time, there's nothing we can do about it. Because, I mean, we did use their services, so I can't ask for a refund. Because we did use the service, and we did pay for those services. So what are you going to do? But it does mean that our fees are lower, and that kind of makes me feel good, because then I don't have to stress as much to try and get the money together that we've been saving really hard for. But at the same time, we also don't have the backing of the agency from the US to ensure that the Japan's not procrastinating or doing anything societally wrong. That's the only thing I'm just worried about. It's so gloomy outside. I don't want the rainy season coming yet. How can I open it? It gets stuck. Why is it stuck? Okay, anyway. Look at how nicely our vegetables are coming along. These are carrots. You might have to put some more soil in them soon. These are cucumbers. There were 5 plants, and it looks like only 3. Oh wait, no, there's 4. There are 4. I don't know what happened to the 5th one. I guess it died. Wait, are there multiples right near each other? Okay, I thinned them. There were actually 5 carrots in one spot, so that had to go. And they look a little wilty because I kept pushing the leaves around. Sorry guys. Anyway, wow, doesn't that look delicious? Actually, it's kind of cute. Can it focus on it? There. Is that kind of cute? The mini carrot. We're going to feed the birds. You're welcome.